Hey, welcome back to Voices of Impact, the space where we explore leadership, identity, and ambition beyond performance metrics and into presence, alignment, and meaningful success. Today's conversation is one I'm deeply aligned with because at some point in every ambitious professional's journey, the question shifts from what's the next title to does this still reflect who I am? So, what changes when career moves are driven by values, not just validation, visibility, or external approval? What shifts when mental health becomes strategic, not secondary? When ambition expands instead of exhausts? When you stop choosing between your passions and start integrating them? So I'm excited to welcome Nirva Mentor to the show. So Nirva is an ICF-certified career coach, recruiter, and multi-passionate entrepreneur. As a founder of Mentor to Success and mobile service by Nirvs, she embodies what she teaches. That fulfillment doesn't require shrinking parts of yourself to fit one lane. So through her work and her lived example, Nirva challenges the idea that you must choose one lane to be successful, right? She proves that fulfillment comes from honoring all parts of who you are. In this episode, we'll explore what truly shifts from when career moves are grounded in values and how to pivot without losing yourself in the process. So welcome, Nirva. So glad to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for that intro. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. Yes. Well, let's get started. So, Nirva, can you share the story of how your career moved from corporate recruiting and talent strategy into ICF certified career coaching and entrepreneurship?
Sure. So I'll start from the way beginning. I studied psychology undergrad and thought I was going to become a psychologist or a therapist. And in my path of outpatient counseling right after college, I found myself into recruiting. And my then manager said, I think your skills are very transferable in the recruiting world. So I started off recruiting an agency and quickly moved into corporate after a couple of years. And from there, I've been able to really gain experience in working with stakeholders, networking, building relationships, both internally at the companies I was working at and also with candidates, and really just found really the secret sauce to finding the perfect candidate for the hiring managers, but also ensuring the candidate experience is also as great as doing that. And in my work, I've been in recruitment now for 11 years. I found that candidates I was working with who I'd work, trying to find an opportunity within the organization, if they were not selected, they were quickly coming back and asking me, what can I do to update my resume? Any feedback you can share? I haven't been in the job market for 10, 15 years, and I just, want to make sure I'm doing everything right. Having multiple conversations like that, I then decided to go into career coaching and really found that my passion is on the candidate side of the house. I want to ensure that you're going into an organization, you're confident in your role, you're happy. Salary negotiation was always a topic as well, that you're negotiating. I always say you spend 75, 80% of your life at work, and you want to ensure, that you're happy and it's your livelihood at the end of the day. So that's where my passion comes from the recruitment side to career coaching. And with my mobile bartending, I always thought of this as my fun job outside of work. And I've been running my own mobile bartending business for 5 years now. And that started off as a side hustle. And in doing that work, I was continuing to get referrals. And then after a year in, I decided to make this into a brand. And I find that my recruitment experience has also helped me become an entrepreneur because it's all about building relationships. And just with how I started off with all those referrals, it was because people knew me, they liked the service that I provided and shared their or my contact with their networks.
Amazing. Wow, you do a lot of stuff.
I
Congrats
do.
to you. Kudos to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
It's you're multi-passionate and the whole like mobile beverage business is like awesome. It's so cool, by the
Thank you.
way. And I also studied psychology, so that's like a whole different thing. But I love
Awesome.
how you have that unique value. Yeah, like, that career coaching with recruiting and then, that beverage business and psychology. So that's like such a unique value you bring to the table. So I want to say that. So
Thank you
amazing,
so
very
much.
inspiring, very inspiring. So when did you personally realize that aligning skills with values was more important than following a single linear career path and chasing after like titles and all of those things?
Sure. I would say it's in my work in recruitment. I have worked with candidates who are early in their career, all the way to candidates who have been in their career for 20, 30 years. And when I work with candidates who have been in their role for 15, 20 years and suddenly find themselves laid off, or they've been in their role or their same industry for those 15, 20 years, and they find that I just don't enjoy doing this anymore. And then on the other side, where it's early career, they took 4 years to study in finance, and they find out I really don't want to work in finance. I want to work in marketing, and trying to find a way to pivot in there. So and talking to hundreds and hundreds of, I would say thousands of candidates at this point in the last 11 years, it really just taught me that if you stay kind of, I don't want to say stuck in one role, in one industry, in one career, you might find yourself kind of wondering what's next. And you never want to feel like it's too late for that. So I'm always a big component on like what skills do you have? What are you actually passionate about? And go find that in your work.
Yeah, exactly. And just asking, like, if exploration phase is very important, just asking yourself, like you said, what are you passionate about? Like, I'll have my clients do the ikigai. It's kind of like, what are you passionate about? What can you get paid for? What does the world need? And
Mhm.
that's very important. And like you said, during when we find jobs, like, we have to kind of figure out what aligns with what we want, who we are. So if you're looking for flexibility, so because like if you're just kind of chasing after title, after a
Mhm.
while, you're gonna be like stuck and like in a loop. It's just gonna go in a loop, right? But when it aligns with your values, every day you wake up so excited and it's sustainable, right? You're gonna have so much joy, you're gonna do better, you're gonna show better at work. So these things are important. Right. And that's amazing
Mhm.
that how you've like learned lessons by talking to so many people, because that's how you learn, right? That's how you grow.
Right.
So
Exactly.
amazing. Amazing. So many people struggle to choose the next step. So, what framework or questions, I know I went and talked to a bit, but do you use to help clients gain clarity about their next move?
Sure. I first start with where they are today.
Yeah.
What's prompting you to talk to me? What's prompting you to feel like you're unhappy, or you feel stuck, or you feel like you're looking to pivot in your career? So really, just understanding where they are today. I definitely don't believe that I using the same framework or same questions for every client works. Everyone has had their own journey, so it's very important to understand where they are and what's prompting them to come to me. From there, I'm going to go back to that question. What makes you happy? What fills you up? Whether that's on your personal life, or it could be into your corporate or your work. From there, I'm going to, kind of try to find a line between what's fueling you, what makes you happy, and what's prompting you to kind of seek a change at that point. And then from there, we'll come up with a plan of like what that looks like. So if you're feeling like you're burnt out, or why are you burnt out? Like what routines do you have in place every week? What responsibilities do you have on your plate? And how can we prioritize that? If you're finding you're not happy at work, what's draining you every day, coming home every day and you're feeling drained from, and then start to kind of peel back that way. So that's how I kind of start my consultations with clients and as we're working together and
Yeah,
figuring those
amazing.
out.
Amazing. I love how
Mhm.
it was a structured framework. It's
Mhm.
basically starts out with where you are right now. And I do want to add the identity piece of who they are as a leader. If you're working with, it depends, right? Everyone's leaders in different ways. But I can kind of relate to this with mid-career to executive is yes, where they
Mhm.
want to go, what's the next thing for them, work-life balance, especially for executives, it's huge work-life balance value, but
Yes.
also who they are as a leader. No one ever talks about that, especially women when I get on also consultations. They're like, I want this, I want that. But then, like you said, peel back the deepest desires.
Mhm.
Like, why do
Mhm.
you want that? What
Mhm.
does it mean? Can you like paint the picture? And what would be your ideal job, your ideal work, And then like what's stopping you and like also having that mindset piece because some people are like I'm kind of scared or I have this fear of not being good enough. So just really uncovering and
Yes.
reframing those
Mhm.
fears, right? So that's what I think is really key. And a lot of people that I come to with the challenges, like they come to me for, is like, "Hey, Vina, though, I know I can have what I want, but then it doesn't pay the bills, or
Mhm.
like it pays the bills, but I can't
Mhm.
get fulfillment." And obviously, I just want to put that out there that you can get both, and it's very possible to get both, but you have to really go through the exploration
Right.
phase. So
Exactly.
going to my next question, how do you help clients balance the financial needs, like the skills to pay the bills, with
Mhm.
pursuing more passion driven or values aligned
Mhm.
work and saying, like, hey, it's doable. Like, I have seen people who can thrive with both. That's
Right.
not like an or thing.
Mhm. Yes. Again, it's going back to your current situation. If you are working, and of course, we all have bills to pay, and you have expenses, what do those expenses look like? Do you have support? If you're in a situation where, no, I don't have support, I'm on my own, I need rent to pay, I have car to pay, I have all my bills to pay, but I'm just not happy in my job. And I know there's another outlet that I can, go work in, but it might not pay as much, then we talk about what does scheduling look like for you. You keep your full-time job, but how can you carve out time to ensure that you're fueling, yourself with what your passions are? Is that nights and weekends? Are we doing this, once a month? Are we getting out to some type of event that's related to your interest? So you have to find ways to incorporate that into your day to day. It's not easy. If it was easy,
Yeah.
everybody would be doing it. So
Right.
it's really just finding out, like, what's important to you. And then at some point, if you can start to work part time, you do that. If you can pick up a contract role, pick up a project to help, stabilize your living situation, and then you're building on the side. And then eventually, you should be able to find yourself working full time in what you're passionate about. But it
Right.
takes time. It takes
It does.
commitment.
It does. It's a lot of commitment. And I've had people, and that's what I love how you said, take a part-time job because I think when it comes to, like I said, I've talked to people, different types of people and personalities. And there are some corporate executives who are like, maybe I'll just take this one path, linear path. They're stuck with that.
Mhm.
But like just having that mindset shift is like you can still job search and have a freelancing project going
Yes.
on to
Hmm.
pay like, even now for my entrepreneurship, I still have a part-time job, right?
Hmm.
So to fund a few things, there are a
Yes.
couple of multiple streams of income, and you can think of it as generational wealth, right? It's
Yes.
the way you see things. And actually nowadays, a lot of people, especially hiring managers, like it when you have like a part-time with this and you have different skills, it shows your versatility. Of
Right.
course, you have to talk about the commitment time, but
Right.
there's pros and cons to everything that, especially during times when they ask you, like, okay, well, say someone is unemployed and like, what did you do during that gap? You can say, like, hey, I, worked on this project or I collaborated with someone or I did some consulting. I started my mini consulting agency. So these are the kind of things, just testing, experimenting with that, having a growth mindset. So
Yeah.
absolutely amazing that
Absolutely.
you said that. Okay, awesome. So yeah, I'd love to hear more about your side hustle. Tell us about more about your mobile beverage catering business. What sparked it and how has running that alongside corporate work shaped your leadership or client work?
Sure. So this started well into my 20s. I was always that go to person at family parties, get togethers with friends when I would just know what goes well together, whether it's a cocktail or a mocktail. I just seem to understand, like, I don't need to do measurements. I don't need to do taste tests. I'm just like,
Right.
that's gonna taste good. I'll have, people taste it and they're like, this tastes amazing. So in 2019, I decided to go ahead and get certified and always thought that bartending would be a fallback if I ever got laid off of my full-time job. And then 2020 happened, restaurant industry shut down. So at that point, people were actually doing more smaller events to keep at capacity. So I got the idea to start popping up at people's houses, if they had a event at a venue and going there, if they could bring an external bartender. And then in October 2021, I had my first event. I actually charged pennies for that event and I made double in tips. So that was one a confidence booster right there. And then at that event, I think I had three people come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm having an event in a couple of months. I didn't think to have a bartender there. Are you available?" And then from there, the referrals started coming. And then a year in, that's when I decided I want to make this into a brand, into a business. So knew nothing about running a business, what that entailed. So all of it was YouTube University, Google, and trying to help me kind of build this up. And from there, I just continuing to make so many connections. And just going back to my recruitment experience, if I didn't have those skills of building relationships with the internal stakeholders that I work with, I don't think I wouldn't have the confidence to do that. Just being someone personally who's been so shy growing up, I never imagined myself being so fueled by connecting with others. So it's been almost 5 years now, and I'm running this business. And every year, I just find new and new ideas, new partnerships, that I want to incorporate into it. So it's been an amazing ride so far.
Amazing. I love that. I just love how you just are like, energized. You know how you said about the whole like shy things. I was a little similar to
Okay.
that because, yeah, the shy, like I would never talk to anyone. That's how I was. But when you do
Mhm.
something you love and you're passionate, it just like
Mhm.
all of a sudden you're an extrovert. Like you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm into it. Let's keep
Right.
talking. That's how I
Right.
learned is
Mhm.
networking. Talking to the right people, right? Because you need to know when you talked about like what energizes you or not. Because there are going to be people who you don't align with, and then people who you align with, right?
It's
So
true.
having the right partnerships, the right support, and all of that. So I'm so happy for you that went from like a side hustle to now a huge brand and a business while
Thank
you're
you.
doing this. So yeah, like it's inspiring for a woman, especially because we're balancing so many things and then, with family, and then I know people have kids. So, yeah, this is amazing. So,
Yeah.
what are some practical ways to test whether that business or side hustle is worth scaling versus just keeping it as a creative outlet? Like how would you
Sure. Um, I think that was my situation. I always thought this would be a creative outlet for me. This would be a side hustle. It's something I do on the side. I know I'm a recruiter. That's what I do full time. That's what pays my bills. But for me personally, it was the referrals. It was the organic referrals that were continuing to come in. Once I say I have a mobile bartending business, it just sparks conversation. Oh, tell me more about that. How does that work? So for me, that's when I knew this is a passion I can really start to put more time into, and really grow it into a brand. So I would say understand your audience. You know, where you live, I think is a factor, your audience, like who you're connected to. And if it comes to you organically, and it keeps coming back, like for me, it's like something I kept saying for the first 3 years, like, oh, this is just a side hustle. I don't see this ever being something I can maybe do full time one day. It just kept presenting itself to me. More opportunities kept presenting itself to me. And the more research I know I was doing and becoming an entrepreneur, what that looked like, that's how I knew this is something I could start to scale. So I think it's really just understanding your environment, what's around you, and what's in front of you as well.
Right, amazing, and yeah, the referrals are the huge thing. They are. That's really cool because
Mhm,
then you know, like, what you're doing something is right. People need it, people
mhm.
want it, they love what you're doing, and then the fact that you're building that trust, right? So,
Right.
that's also very important, the building of the relationships, because you could
Mhm,
be doing something that's great, but they're like, "I don't know what she does, she barely
mhm.
talks to me," right? So, it's
Yeah.
not gonna scale. So, it's a combination of both that, you
Mhm.
have that gift, right? So and I do agree with, like, because I used to be like, "Okay, this is just I was a career coach. Let me just
Mhm.
start something, whatever." But sometimes, like, women especially, we have that intuition, that gut,
Sure.
like, sometimes I would just always go back to corporate, but then I would come back to this. Like, it would just,
Mhm.
like you said, present itself. It just worked out. Even now it's expanding, like, my brand, and I haven't even, like, tried anything. I'm not
Great.
pushing. So,
Mhm.
no, like, there is something. This is your purpose, and, maybe the divine is saying something, the universe is divine saying something. So, yeah, like, listen to those signals, your heart, your intuition, especially for
Yes.
women. It won't lie to you, right? There
No.
is something that's what you're here to do. And of course, there are gonna be people maybe like, "What are you doing?" Like, "You're overcommitting," you're all of that stuff. But, of
Mhm.
course, like, if you feel like this is for you, like, just go for it, right? So
Right.
listen to your heart,
Exactly.
and then the logic will present. Of course, you need both, but follow the heart first, and then
Mhm.
you have supporting, like we talked about, part-time or freelancing to support this, right? So
Right.
amazing. So, going into boundaries and self care. So, what
Mhm.
concrete boundary setting practices do you teach to protect energy while
Mhm.
doing high stakes career work, or, like, for example, if executives are listening, or job searches?
Yes, boundaries is very big for me to kind of start kind of where that comes from. My morning routine is like non-negotiable for me, and when I have weeks that I don't commit to it, that's when kind of chaos is happening in my
Right.
world. So waking up in the morning, having my quiet time, my journaling, meditating, praying, that's non-negotiable for me. Finding a way to move my body, get to the gym, do a stretch, take my dog on an extra long walk that morning, get outside, that's non-negotiable for me. And again, if I'm not committing to that, then my life is chaos.
Yeah.
So before, before I even commit to getting on my phone, checking emails for the day, that needs to be done first. And that's a boundary for me. I'm not answering text messages, emails at 5, 6 in the morning. When my workday starts, that's when it starts. Because if I don't fill up my cup, who else is going to do it for me? And how
Exactly.
can I, be my best self, throughout the day? So it's really finding out what's important to you. In your day to day and ensuring you're committing to it. And it's just non negotiable. And people will start to understand once you put up those boundaries, they'll know like Nirva does not answer text messages in the morning or at night. I value my sleep. After 10 o'clock, I'm in my bed. And
Yeah.
I'm not staying
Right.
up late, to talk on the phone. I need my me time. After work, it's my time to wind down. It's cooking dinner, it's spending time with my dog, catching up on my shows. Like that's Nirva time.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that. I love
yeah.
that. Yeah, like Nirva time. I love that. Yeah, I love how you just have those boundaries set in place and
Mhm.
you're like, I'm unapologetic about it
Yeah.
because,
Mhm.
and I think talking to a lot of women of color, we struggle with that, right? That
Yes,
we're
absolutely.
not used to like setting boundaries. Or we have to be the good
Mhm,
girl, not speak up and say much. But
mhm,
I have a similar thing. I just literally cannot do weekend calls. And I tell people no weekend
mhm,
calls or, respect, I don't answer at certain times or I don't like have my team. I literally took a Monday off nowadays
mhm.
because I
Right.
just need that time rest, so all of these things, right? I love how you talked about prayers. So I do also my prayers in the morning and just no laptop, like no phone, like no doom scrolling. So I'm really making sure these are set in place and you follow them consistently because
Yes.
obviously as corporate people, and I mean entrepreneurs, I think we have a good grasp of it a little bit, but with
Mhm.
corporates, you're gonna definitely doom scroll. And I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of executives who come to me and saying like I'm like always responsibilities and work and hustle and
Mhm.
distractions. But this is a key thing is so that you make sure you don't burn yourself out. And self care is not selfish, especially for a
Yes.
woman. And
Right.
whoever says that, you have to set boundaries with that person then,
Yep.
right? Yeah, amazing. So, how would you describe your core coaching philosophy and what makes your approach different from traditional career advice?
Yes, I come from a place of mental wellness first. So again, I when you're coming to me, I want to find out what's prompting you. There's something that's prompted you to have this conversation and really find out more about your career and what we can do to change something. So I come from, like talked about the self-care piece. Like I want to know, I like as I'm diving into our consultation calls, I want to find out like what's driving this. And there's always just something on the wellness piece there, the self-care that's missing. So I would say that's my, philosophy and kind of coming in and that's what drives, our coaching sessions and where they're gonna go. Like I said, I don't come in with a set um questions for everybody. I think everyone's journey is different. Everyone's approach is gonna be different as well, their experiences. Yeah, that's what I would say, my
Yeah.
philosophy coming in. Mhm.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like combining that life coaching with career coaching, like you said, the
Yeah,
wellness piece, because
yeah,
most career coaches, which is it's totally fine, it's just focusing
mhm,
on the career and then getting the job and the
yeah,
onboarding. But the holistic piece is so important, like setting the
mhm,
foundation first, and that's portal exploration. And yeah, I do the same where literally the nervous system, what is that self care? Like, what does that look like? Are you blocking time and scheduling
mhm,
that and penciling it in?
yeah,
Right? If it's needs to do meditation, like I give my clients like meditation, like prompts, and then also these, like, just to listen to it. I did energy audits for them. So, yeah, I
gotcha.
love that. And it makes it like very unique because it's
Yeah,
very holistic. You're not just looking at career and, how they show up on a personal level with their family relationships. It's all interconnected.
I'll try and yeah,
Yeah,
okay, great.
amazing. Of course.
Mhm,
And that's what, people want now. It's not just career, let's get to the strategy. It's like
yeah,
also it impacts me on a personal level
that's
and
no,
it's so important for like a woman especially. Like how do I show up as a mother even though
mm,
I'm this like VP at work,
right,
or I'm a student, but then there's so much competition among like the engineers. How do I get ahead in the AI? But I also have to be like a son, right? So
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
those different roles
mhm,
that's more important. Taking care of yourself, like you said, wellness, mentally, emotionally is very
mhm,
key. I
right.
love that. So going into practical guidance, how can people communicate a multi-passion identity to employers or clients in a way that increases rather than decreases their perceived value? This is a very interesting question.
It is. It is. I wouldn't hide, what you do to your employer. Obviously, there's boundaries that you need to set up for yourself when it comes to, your work, what you do outside of work. But I'm just all about showing up authentically. I come in, my role is 40 hours a week. I'm committed to that role. And, I find ways to not have distractions. When I'm in recruiter mode, I'm in recruiter mode. And I find a way to balance, how I show up in my career coaching, how I show up in my beverage catering business. So that's spending my weekends doing my content and then I'm scheduling out, during the week. So during the week when I'm at work, I'm not worrying about it. Or I know, Wednesdays and Thursday nights are my nights to commit to my business or one Saturday a month, whatever the case is. And then, I think it's up to you if you feel comfortable, divulging everything you do at work when it comes to like your day to day. If you're, interviewing for a role, I know a lot of companies will ask if you have, a business that you work in or anything that could be a conflict. I think you should be honest, if there might be a conflict there so that they're aware. But I would showcase those skills. When I was interviewing previously, the question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or what do you like to do outside of work and things like that? I wouldn't shy away of, talking about your passions in your business. So I think it just kind of brings like a different conversation and just a different light to you. It's just like, wow, you're really skilled in what you do, on the full-time side, but like I'm so intrigued at what you do outside of work. And it just lets people show the authentic you and what you do. And I just don't think you should shy away from it. But obviously being respectful of, if you work a full-time corporate role, what that looks like. But again, ensuring that you're just honest about
Yes.
that.
Exactly. I love how you said, like, "Don't shy away, just be yourself." And
Hmm.
I've had these conversations, and they're like, "Yeah, I see you do, business and this. Do you have
Hmm.
time for this? Can
Right.
you commit?" And then
Hmm.
just being honest, right? Like, "Hey, I do this because I love it. This is my passion. This is a
Hmm.
mission," and kind of
Hmm.
going into that storytelling piece. And then that's what actually personal branding is. They don't want to just see the career you and the leader you. They also want to see who you are outside of this. Are you creative?
Exactly. Hmm.
So you want to share that, right? So that you're multi-passionate. It really shows your versatility and they want that. Like that's
Hmm.
what you bring to the table. And a
Yeah.
lot of people think it's like a negative thing. It's not. It's actually
Not.
a positive.
It is right.
Yeah, like you can wear so many hats, especially for startups.
Hmm.
This is a huge like strength, and I want to point that out for
Hmm.
people who want to apply. They want to see like, can you be creative? Do you have that speed? Are you also taking ownership? Do you have
Hmm.
all aspects of it, right? Use that identity wisely, right? At the same
Right.
time, of course, be honest, like I can commit
Yeah.
to this, but
Hmm.
just really communicating it like a storytelling from your why, from your
Hmm.
mission, and going
Yeah.
back to what we talked about your values. Like
Hmm.
share, tell them like I
Hmm.
value XYZ. I value flexibility. That's why I started this. I value
Right.
freedom. At the
Hmm.
same time, I also want to help your business grow. It's
Hmm.
very aligned with what I do, right? So it's just the way you articulate it and package that
Exactly.
it's actually really, like, helpful, so I don't want anyone just be yourself because I know
Right.
that comes up a lot with my clients, like,
Hmm.
"Should I say this? Should I say that?"
Hmm.
And examples when I had a client right now, honestly, like, she's like, "Hey, I'm a Montessori lead school teacher. I wanna get into engineering. Should I talk about the school? Because I don't know what they would say." And I was like, "Of course, yes." And then we packaged her transferable skills of her, school teacher into engineering, how it's very aligned. And she got results, like, she got the recruiters reaching out, she got into the first round, like, they loved it, because she didn't hire herself just
Hmm.
because for engineering, people think like, "Oh, like, why do you need to what about if I show my school teaching job? Like, what does that gonna do with any of it?" But there's a lot of overlaps, there's a lot of alignments, you just need
Right.
to make sure that you're bold and unapologetic about who you are, what you bring to the table, and your worth as, like, a school teacher and a
Yeah.
potential engineer, so
Right. Right. And
amazing.
I would also add if they're not supportive of that, I don't think that's your company, your organization.
Exactly.
You're not going to
Exactly.
be there long.
Yeah. And I also want to say that too, that like they're not just evaluating you, like you
Yeah.
said, you're
Hmm.
evaluating them. It's a
Yeah.
two-way street. It's similar. I just think of it as like you're dating a man, right? He's not just for you. You're gonna like look at him for
Right.
like, what is this my gonna be
Right.
partner? So it's a
Hmm.
similar thing, and people forget about that. And
Yeah.
it's okay if it's not aligned. I mean, a lot of people take as like, oh my God, they rejected me.
Mhm.
The universe is just
Direction.
saying,
Mhm.
protecting you that
Yeah.
it's not the
Exactly.
right fit.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you. The one that's aligned is going to come to you, right? You
Yes.
just have to believe in yourself and just
Mhm.
be in your presence and have that confidence. Like, I have what it takes. If they don't want me, like, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
I need to go to someone who wants me and, who knows what I bring to the table. So really
Right.
own yourself. And
Hmm.
for women, especially, owning yourself in all areas. Like I said, not just a student, not just a leader, but showcase the mother you are, showcase the daughter you are as well. It's also the personal aspects that make you an amazing person or candidate, right? So all of you, right? So amazing. I love this conversation. So what's next for you, Nirva? So any programs, initiatives, offerings?
Sure. So I do offer one-on-one coaching. If you're interested in making a transition, again, whether you've been in your role, for a while and you don't know what's next for you, those are the coaching sessions where we're going to be able to dive in and find out, what are your strengths, what excites you, and how can you put that towards your next opportunity. With what's next for this year, I feel like this year has already been like 6 months in. That's what it feels like. It's only February.
Right.
But I do want to blend my, career coaching and, my beverage catering business together. So I have a dream of doing a coach and sip session, kind of like a paint and sip type of session, but coach and sip where there's, a panel of guests there that talk about their career transitions, whether they've transitioned out of corporate or they've made pivots within corporate, started their own businesses, whatever the case is, and then, have a networking portion and then a mixology portion as well. So that's something I'm really looking forward to incorporating this year and getting started in. With Mentor to Success, my career coaching business, I do want to start a community as well. So I do a mentored outdoors. So that's an outdoor walk where we would meet up and everyone just kind of talks about where they are in their career and help support each other. Mentored brunches as well. I love brunch. So I'm like, why not bring people together and over brunch and talk about their careers? And then eventually I'd love to do a retreat as well. So all things I'm working on this year and beyond. And then with my beverage catering company, just continuing to grow in that field. I really want to incorporate a mental wellness portion into that. So I'd love to start partnering more with providers, whether that's Pilates instructors, yoga instructors, and do meditation retreats as well, and incorporate, doing that as well with smoothie bars, coffee bars, matcha, whatever the case is. So lots of ideas.
I love that. Oh my god,
Mhm,
so amazing, so amazing. I love how you're combining that
mhm.
mixology and the mocktail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be there, girl. I'm gonna be there.
I'll send you an invite.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm all for retreats. So much expansion for you. I'm so proud of you. So,
Thank
congrats.
you. Thank
So
you.
exciting, so exciting. So, would love to go into the rapid fire round. These are fun, fun questions.
Yes.
We go into a little
Mhm.
personal.
Sure.
So, let's see. What's your go-to comfort meal?
Tacos for sure.
Yeah, I love tacos. Oh my god, it's my favorite. That's just like my favorite. I always have them. So I love that you said that. Totally agree. Amazing. Heels, sneakers, or barefoot energy?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna
Oh,
say sneakers. I'll say sneakers. I
I
wanted to
like
say barefoot, but
yeah. I mean, I would
sneakers.
say barefoot. I think that's just
Yeah,
comfortable, but
it
sneakers
is.
for now. I mean, I think that's good. Not the heels. I just
No,
don't.
I'm over that life, yeah.
I know some women just wear a lot of heels. Like I'm happy for
Mhm.
them. I'm great. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah,
Mhm.
it's just
More
not
power to
me.
them. Mhm.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, going into mixology, if you had a signature cocktail named after you, what would it be called?
I do have one. It's called Calm Your Nerves. So this is a tequila-based, cocktail, my favorite, liquor. So, it's more of a margarita type of cocktail, but Calm Your Nerves.
Calm your nerves. I love that. Yeah, that's like perfect because like you're amazing, amazing. I love that. And okay, let me see. What's a small luxury you never feel guilty about?
There's so many, but I have to say vacation. I
Yeah,
have to say vacation. I
absolutely.
unfortunately don't take as many as I used to,
Yeah,
but when I'm booking a vacation, it's all the luxuries that I can get that
yeah.
makes it as peaceful as possible.
Yes, absolutely. And I never feel guilty. I'm having one soon, so not feeling guilty
Yeah.
about it. And
Yeah.
you should.
Mm,
So no one should. No
no,
one
not at
should
all. You deserve
take
it.
out.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. You deserve everything. Everyone deserves some self care
Yeah.
luxury, whether that's vacation or handbag or whatever that is. Like
Get your
just
hair done, get your nails done. Yeah.
exactly, just go for it. So a lot of women, they're just like, should I do it? Like just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
And just one more. If you could live anywhere for 1 year, where would it be?
It's gonna be somewhere in the Caribbean.
Mhm.
Out of where I've visited so far, it would probably be Jamaica.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I think I visited the Caribbean and it was really beautiful. I just
Yeah.
haven't been to
So
Jamaica, but
peaceful.
I've heard it's yeah, like near the beach and all that. That's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. So yeah, thanks so much for this amazing conversation, Nirva. So what I appreciate most about this conversation is a reminder that alignment is not a luxury, it's leadership, right? So when career moves are value led, something profound shifts. Decisions become cleaner Energy becomes more protected, confidence becomes internal, not performative. You stop chasing what looks good on paper and you start building what feels right in your body. So, feeling into it. So that's not just a career pivot, that's identity work, that's sovereignty, and that's exactly why I'm so passionate about what's coming next. So I'll be launching also a community called Sovereign Rise, a global collective for soul-led leaders, creators, founders, and change makers who are building from identity, integrity, and impact. So this is not a space that consumes content, but it's a collective that co-creates legacy. So a place for women and men who are done leading from pressure, hierarchy, or borrowed blueprints and ready to rise into leadership that feels aligned, grounded, and deeply human. So, if this conversation resonated with you, you're already part of this movement. So, stay connected. And thank you so much for your time, Nirva. This was very inspirational, and best of luck to you.
Awesome.
And
Thank you so
remember to everyone when you build, yeah, of course. And when you build from who you truly are, your impact multiplies. This is the rise, and we're just getting started. So,
Yeah,
thank you, everyone. Hope you have a
absolutely.
good rest
Thank
of the
you.
day and weekend.
Thank you. Night.